So parkour originated as a way to be useful or functional, but over time it has evolved to also include a lot of tricks and a lot of creativity of movement, which is all fun and good, but I want to get back to the basis of that usefulness for the everyday person, because not everyone wants to go and become a master of parkour, but I do believe there are parkour movements that can benefit everyone. And so here are 5 parkour moves that can benefit you in some ways. Now, if you're anything like me, you probably like to listen to music or podcasts while you're out doing your parkour training. I wanted to introduce you to the JOYROOM OE3 clip-on earbuds. I'd like to thank them for sponsoring this video and sending me a pair to test out. And right off the back, to be honest, they've been one of my favorite earbuds to do parkour in. They have this cool clip-on design that allows them to just sit around your ear, but they're not actually clamping my ear, so they're very comfortable. They're open ear, which means they're not plugging my ears. When you're training parkour, you want to be able to hear what's going on around you, and they have very convenient tap control. You can touch anywhere on the earbud to control your music. They stayed in. I'm actually super impressed. These are the first earbuds I've tested that didn't fly out on the double full. Almost everything I've tested before this always eventually fly out when I'm doing that many spins. So if you want to check out the JOYROOM OE3 clip-on earbuds for yourself, be sure to click on the link in the description. All right, so the first parkour move that everyone should learn is your basic safety roll. This is the roll you're going to use when you're jumping from something high and need to use it to disperse the impact along your body so you're not actually injuring yourself on the landing, or if you're going to be tripping or falling, the safety roll is an effective way to prevent yourself from hitting the ground hard or getting injured. So even if you don't train parkour, this move is fundamental for just humans in general to know how to do, to just be safer in your day-to-day life. So when you fall, or if you're in a situation where you do have to jump off something high, if you at least know the basics of how to roll out and disperse that impact, this move is for you. So I have a full in-depth tutorial on how to learn the safety roll, but just to give you some quick tips on getting started on how to learn it, here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna start down low from your hands and knees, and the goal is to roll diagonal across your back from one shoulder to your opposite hip. So that way we're not rolling directly over our spine. You're gonna use your hands initially to help support yourself to push over your shoulder, and the goal is to try and get a smooth rolling motion and to come back up on your feet. This roll can actually be practiced in different directions and in different variations because you never actually know how you're going to be falling, or if you're jumping off something really high, sometimes it's better to roll to the side than to try and roll straight over your shoulder. Sometimes you're just coming in with too much impact to get that perfect shoulder roll. Sometimes the only way to take that impact is to allow your body to fall to the side and kind of roll sideways to disperse that impact. Additionally, be sure to practice it backwards, so in case you're ever falling backwards, you know how to back roll out of it. For learning the back roll, I like to just reverse how I learned the forward roll. So following the same line going forward, I'm gonna just do everything exactly the same, but in reverse, and come back to the same position I started in. So there's some quick tips to get you started on the safety roll. So the next parkour move that everyone should know how to do is your basic climb up. Now the climb up can actually be very challenging depending on your actual upper body strength. And that's why I feel it's super important for anyone to be able to do, because it develops the necessary strength and skill needed to overcome any type of wall or obstacle that you have to pull yourself up onto. And you just never know when you need to get up on a wall to retrieve a ball or save a child hanging from a window. Whatever the situation might be, being able to climb up on top of a wall is essential. So to be able to do the climb up, it's a little bit of technique and a little bit of developing your strength. The first technique involved in climbing a wall, depending on how high it is whether you're grabbing the top of it and just pulling yourself up, or if it's a little bit too tall to reach the top, you can actually use a step on the wall to help you get up and grab the top, which we call a wall run. So when you do a wall run, the goal is to use your momentum to push into the wall and step up to grab up as high as you can. So when you run up to the wall, you're going to plant your foot out in front of you with a good extension and a decent height on the wall, generally like hip height. You're gonna jump from the ground and push off the wall as you reach towards the top of the wall. Now, once you're at the top of the wall, this is where a little bit of strength comes in, being able to practice pull-ups or any sort of pulling motion, because you do need to be able to pull your chest up onto the wall and then be able to push again from there. You can use your feet against the wall to help assist in that pulling and pushing motion, but if you develop your strength for this move, it'll help a lot. And honestly, to build the strength for this move, all you need to do are push-ups and pull-ups. If you can just practice those exercises, that'll be enough to develop the strength for the wall climb. And then developing the technique itself, you can actually practice on a lower wall where you can use your feet on the ground to assist the actual technique. Our next parkour move that everyone should learn how to do is the safety vault. The safety vault is your basic vault for getting over any low level object. So here we have this basic picnic table. Obviously in the middle of a field, if you're running away from bad guys, you go straight for the picnic table. No, just kidding. Maybe you're in an alleyway and there's walls on both sides and you need to quickly get over a picnic table or handrail or something, and you just want to be able to get over it smoothly without the risk of tripping either and stumbling and getting hurt. This is where the safety vault comes in. This is a vault where you're actually planting your hand and foot up on the object and then bringing your opposite foot through. And this way you have control all the way through the vault. None of this slow, like stepping over, trying to get your body over. Too slow, too not very smooth. Or if you try just vaulting something without the experience, you risk clipping your feet and going down to the ground. But again, if you know how to do the roll, then you can recover out of it. But we don't want to have to depend on the roll if we don't have to. So the safety vault allows us to bring our foot up and our hand to control it all the way through. To make this nice and clean, think about it as one motion. Your foot and hand come up at about the same time to allow you to step over, and then you push off again to land and run away, or just land if you're just trying to be cool and don't need to go anywhere. Our next parkour move that everyone should learn is how to balance. Now, balance applies to a lot more things than just parkour, but being able to improve your balance through parkour methods such as balancing on this curb or balancing on handrails is an effective way to improve your overall balance and coordination, which is just a fundamental human skill to have, because we're actually balancing when we just walk on normal ground. We've just gotten so good at it that we don't feel like we're having to balance. And so being able to train our balance on even harder objects allows us to develop that coordination even further, which will further improve our coordination on ground, performing other sports or activities, or again, if we're gonna fall, sometimes just knowing how to balance yourself can prevent the fall from happening. So balance is a fundamental human move that everyone should learn how to do. Now, when you're ready to level up your balancing technique onto a handrail, here's a couple tips to get you started. First, when you're getting up onto the handrail, you wanna go nice and slow. Take your time and get comfortable and in position so that when you go to stand up, you're ready to jump off at any point. So if you lose your balance right away, you can quickly be ready to land on your feet. Once you're all the way up on the handrail, the goal is to use your body, joints, and even the mobility in your feet to kind of find that sweet spot where you can maintain your balance. And this just comes with a lot of practice. Balance is just a lot of time spent balancing. But you can do things such as bending your knees to keep your center of gravity lower, which is going to help you make the balancing easier. And it'll make it easier to recover too if you fall off. You can do a little jump instead of being locked out. It's gonna be harder to push away and do a jump if your legs are completely straight. You can use your arms to help counterbalance a little bit, but as you get more comfortable balancing, you can focus on just doing the balance in your ankles and the way your feet roll and move on the handrail to keep your balance. Our final parkour move that everyone should know how to do is building off our balance and now incorporating it into a jump called the precision jump. So this is when you're doing a precise jump and landing in a precise spot. Now luckily this is really easy to practice just on flat ground. You can practice jumping to a painted line on the road or a sidewalk crack, whatever you have to practice your aim doing that jump. And the goal is that when you land, you can still maintain your balance. And that just comes from experimentation with the angle of your body as you come into the jump, depending on how much speed you have. If you're just doing a small jump, you can pretty much just do it straight up and down. If you're doing a bigger jump, you'll want to lean back just a little bit to allow yourself to balance into position and stop your momentum. Now, when you're ready to start doing precision jumps onto actual objects, you can either use a curb to practice precision jumping onto the curb, or you can use something like stairs to create progressive jumping distance and height to work on your precision landings. So with these stairs, I'm going to be landing on the balls of my feet and just aiming so that my heels just have a little bit of hangover. All right, once you feel comfortable sticking one step, then you can progress and move up to the next step. All the way up until you reach your max height you can jump. So there you have it. Whether you want to master parkour or just have some moves to integrate in your normal fitness routine, these 5 moves will help build a strong foundation that will benefit your day-to-day life activities. Thanks for watching.